What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks bringing you some more Go Battle League battles here in the Great League, and got kind of a fun team for everyone today. This is a MEW double steal team, and so I'm running MEW in the lead with Surf and Wild Charge. I feel like if you want to run MEW in the lead, this is the preferred moveset because you're going to have coverage against Galarian Stunfisk with the Surf, you're going to have coverage against Azumarill and Skarmory with the Wild Charge. And if someone leads a Bastiodon, MEW can actually hang with that when it is running the Surf moveset, because you're going to be able to hit for super effective. I know you could also run the Flame Charge, Wild Charge moveset, but I feel like that functions better when you are utilizing MEW as a safe swap, because you won't be as hard walled by anything. And then the double steal in the back here is just kind of fun to have there. Steal is one of the best defensive typings in the game, and so there's a lot of different combinations of double steal you can run. You've seen me run that Guan 87 team of Swampert double steal. I tried Meganium double steal, but that was horrible because it was crazy weak to Alolan Marowak. But I think this team actually has a lot of play. Again, anytime you're running a team that has like this double weakness in the back, like this double steal, you have to be somewhat aggressive on your switches in attempts to bait out a potential hard counter in the back. So Registeel is typically the safe swap that I use in this team depending on what's in the lead, and by swapping in Registeel, typically I will bait out either a Galarian Stunfisk or an Alolan Marowak, both of which Skarmory Skarmory does not want to see. So, and through that matchup, Registeel can actually sometimes get a shield advantage, which is great, and it baits out the worst counter for Skarmory. So oftentimes Skarmory will just be able to sweep the back line. So let's kind of take a look at some of these battles and see how this goes. I hope you guys enjoy this team. It's actually really fun to use. Hopefully you have not powered up your MEW above 1500 CP. Maybe someday Niantic will give us a chance to get another MEW. That'd be great, because how cool would it be to use MEW in like all 3 different leagues? It's very versatile. Out comes the Galarian Stunfisk right there, and I threw the Flash Cannon just to ensure that I got rid of it, and then I'm going to be able to bring up my MEW to Shadow Claw down the Azumarill. Very close game there. Good game. MEW into Deoxys, this is a favorable matchup for MEW because the Shadow Claw is going to be hitting for super effective the entire time. They switch into Vigoroth, and I'm going to absorb a Body Slam. That's fine. I want to chip this Vigoroth a little bit before switching into my Skarmory, because if the Vigoroth has a big energy or shield lead, then this is going to be a little bit trickier for Skarmory. So since I was able to burn that shield on Vigoroth, I probably should have just thrown Surf there, because all I need was just a little bit of chip damage to put this Vigoroth into Sky Attack range. And they shielded it anyway, so it was somewhat of a waste of energy. I do want to maintain alignment here, but because I was so slow to the switch out, they're able to bring in Deoxys. And I got a little too greedy and overfarmed there. I should have just thrown the Sky Attack immediately, but now I'm going to be able to get to a Brave Bird here and then switch back into the MEW. They do shield that. They are shielding up every move that I do not want them to. This Wild Charge is not going to be enough to KO this Defense Deoxys, like not even close. But I'm actually going to let this Psycho Boost go through. The attack has been dropped, and then I'm going to bring out Registeel for like a super aggressive lock-on down. They bring out Vigoroth though, and I throw this Flash Cannon before the Vigoroth is going to be able to get to a Bulldoze. Body Slam would be resisted, but the counters really do add up. They probably bring out Deoxys again here to get some more counter damage. They do. So I make a sacrificial swap onto my Skarmory to catch a Rock Slide here. I'm able to do it. I still have a shield. And I'm going to farm down this Deoxys. In the back is Scrafty. Huge mistake right here. I need 2 moves to KO Scrafty. Even though Focus Blast hits for super effective damage, you can see it's just barely not enough. Double Flash Cannon would have won me this game, but I panicked at the end, and I'm like, I just need to get a Focus Blast off, and look at that. If I would have double Flash Cannon, I actually would have been able to win that game. Good game. Okay, MEW into a Bomb Snow. This is not super great. I need to bluff that I have a flame charge here. I know that this is just a weather ball. I actually store that energy and then switch into Skarmory. Okay, I've also played this differently where I'll throw like a surf or something and bluff that I have flame charge, try to get a shield. Out comes Hypno. Now, if I can regain switch advantage here, Registeel is a very hard counter to Abomasnow. So I will shield this right here. But this Hypno, I think, is barely going to outpace me to the next Thunder Punch. And I don't know if I want to commit both shields, especially since they just shielded that. I think I'm going to shield this. Okay. There's a case to be made. I could have shielded that and then air slash down and maintained alignment. Probably would have been the better play. But thank goodness they just gave up switch advantage freely there. And I'm able to get my Registeel locked onto the Abomasnow. In hindsight, I should have committed another shield with my Skarmory and guaranteed that I could have won swap. I think I would have been able to air slash down the Hypno before it got to another Thunder Punch. But this also works. Definitely a mistake by my opponent there, but gonna try to capitalize on it. Going to be able to take out the Abomasnow. Wondering what they have in the back. They bring out the Hypno again, which is kind of strange. I know this is probably going to be a Fire Punch, and it is. But I'm saving my shield for... I'm saving the shield for Mew, which now in hindsight is kind of a mistake because this Obstagoon is just going to get out of control here. And right here, 2 Wild Charges are not enough to take out the Obstagoon, so I think the play might have actually been triple Surf. Because as you can see, Wild Charge is just barely not enough. Gonna land another Wild Charge. These Shadow Claws are triple resisted and they're doing nothing. And I definitely could have gotten to 3 Surfs there, and I think that, again, would have been the game-changing move. But in the heat of the moment, it's very hard to recognize that, and then it's actually a simultaneous KO right there. Very close game. Mew into Azumarill. So yes, this is technically a favorable lead, but you do have to go into a shield disadvantage here. They are bluffing the Hydro Pump, but it's just an Ice Beam, of course. Gonna land the Wild Charge here. I have back-to-back stored. And I think I encounter a little bit of lag here and lose track of my opponent. Okay, no, that's in a different matchup. But I'm going to bring out Registeel onto this Altaria. Now, if the Altaria wants to double shield, they can win switch advantage here because the Dragon Breath adds up a lot. I still have a lot of stored energy on my Mew, though, which is really great in the end game scenario to bank all that energy, and then when shields are down, go for a possible nuke on whatever's in the back. They let Azumarill, and then they utilize Altaria as a safe swap. I think I've seen this type of a team comp before. I think it's a double flyer strat. So either like a Tropius or Skarmory in the back. I have seen that sort of a team comp fairly frequently. They take me out there. I'm actually going to bring out Skarmory to farm this down. Gonna get hit by an Ice Beam, that's okay. My Mew has a lot of loaded energy. I have no idea what's in the back. They still have 2 shields. It's their own Skarmory, so this is totally fine. I'm just gonna chip this as much as possible, but ideally I would like to land a Wild Charge on this Skarmory, but there's no way that the Skarmory is gonna be shielding any of these first moves from my Skarmory, but I'm chipping it down, and at this point I can go straight Surf. I have so much energy stored. And I definitely don't want to drop my defense that soon. So I'm very close to another Surf, and honestly straight Surf is pretty much the way to go here, especially when shield's up. I get the final shield, and then I'm going to be able to land this Wild Charge. This is going to take out the Skarmory for sure. And then I still have my own Skarmory with a little bit of residual energy against the Azumarill, so I'm able to win that game there. Good game. Mew into Lapras. This is another good lead because Mew has access to Wild Charge. But again, you typically have to go into a shield disadvantage even in some of these favorable leads like this, but you will leave the matchup with a lot of stored energy and winning switch. So the Sableye switch in was a little bit scary. If they would have shielded that Wild Charge, I would have been in a world of hurt. And I probably would have had to throw another move on the Sableye because I can't switch Reggie into a full health Sableye with an energy advantage. And I definitely can't bring Skarmory onto a Sableye that's still at full health when shields are up. So because they were able, because they let that wild charge through, I know I could bring out Skarmory, farm it down. This Alolan Marowak is going to come out. I get one shield right there, and then I'm actually able to get to this Brave Bird right here. Wondering if they're going to shield twice. They do, and then they farm me down. So even though I have 2 shields, I'm going to have to bring out Mew. Because I stored this Surf, I win the CMP tie. It's not going to be enough to take out the Marowak though. I'm going to store a Surf before switching into my Registeel. I know Mew wins the CMP tie against Alolan Marowak. This is just going to ensure the victory here. And Registeel is a pretty solid response to the Lapras. And I'm actually recognizing here that I can just go for a 2-shield flex and not have to shield anything. Because I safely stored the Surf, I know that the Surf is going to be enough damage to KO the Marowak. And so my motto is only shield if you have to. And I still don't have to shield here. So gonna let this go. Not able to get to the Flash Cannon, but as you can see, store the Surf. And this should be just enough to KO the Alolan Marowak. Gonna survive with a little bit of health and 2 shields remaining. You'll love to see it. Mew into Toxicroak. This is a pretty decent lead. Obviously, the Sludge Bombs are really gonna hurt. They switch into Deoxys. So I'm going to throw this Wild Charge first. Honestly, I should have just stayed in that matchup and played it out. I switch in Registeel here, obviously to avoid the Toxicroak, but this is a questionable move. Now looking back at this, I could have just stayed in with Mew against the Deoxys, because I still have Skarmory as a counter to the Toxicroak. Because now I'm going to lose switch advantage here. Kind of a strange play. Okay. Interesting. So probably bring out the Mew again to farm this down. Yeah, they don't get to another move, which is really nice. Oh man, it's Umbreon in the back. So I'm going to shield this and store all of this energy probably. I think I overcapped myself at 100 energy, which is not great. I think at this point I'm realizing that Skarmory is going to be my win scenario here, assuming that the Toxicroak only has Mud Bomb and Sludge Bomb. So thank goodness both of those wild charges connected to the Umbreon. But this is definitely not over. I really want to farm down this Umbreon and take it out. I should have shielded up the Foul Play, because Foul Play is technically going to be the thing that does the most damage here. And I needed to preserve a little bit of health because the fast moves from Toxicroak are really going to add up. Now I have to shield this. What? Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm barely able to get to this Sky Attack. That was okay. Yeah, it's always funny when I watch these back, and in the moment I'm like, oh, I know I can survive this, but watching this back I was like, oh my gosh, I survived with like 1 HP there. I was able to win that. Good game. So again, this is technically a favorable lead, but if you're in the position of the Azumarill, you could just not shield anything and come out of it with a shield advantage. Oh, I think this is the match where I start to get a little bit of lag, and so I have horrible track of my opponent's fast moves here. No, maybe this isn't it. Maybe I didn't record that battle, but there was one match where I literally went into a 2 shield deficit right off the bat. I'm going to use Reggie as a safe swap, and then out comes the Alolan Marowak. Luckily, I'm able to bait out this Alolan Marowak, so the Skarmory gets to avoid it. But there was no point in me keeping my Mew in that lead and getting farmed down by Shiftry. So now my Mew is actually going to have a little bit of play, because it's going to be able to surf this Alolan Marowak. They still have 2 shields though, and so I have a Skarmory in the back, but if that Shiftry has a shield advantage, it's going to be very tough to take it out. I actually don't think I'm even going to be able to take it out, because the Shiftry also has a slight energy advantage. Not super great here. I throw one more Shadow Claw, and now I'm going to throw the Surf. I do get a shield, and then they store some energy on their Alolan Marowak, which is very scary here. I shield up the Foul Play, which is good for me, but I'm going to get hit by 2 Foul Plays. They obviously shield this. I can barely survive 2 Foul Plays. My Skarmory does have very good PvP IVs. This is tough. Gonna get hit by another one. And then I essentially have to Shadow Claw down this Shift Tree, which is not going to be able to happen. Oh my gosh. But I think they go for a very nice combo play with their Marowak here. And if this is if it is Shadow Ball, they store Shadow Ball and they're able to take me out. Very smart play by my opponent there. Mew into Tropius. Man, I hate these Tropius leads. So I'm going to stay in this and try to catch something on the Registeel, but it was a big fail. I did store a Surf though. I like to store a Surf because typically either an Alolan Marowak or a Stunfisk is going to come out, and that's just going to guarantee that I win the CMP tie, and I'm going to be able to get that Surf. So I am going to shield this, I think. Yep. And that's just because I know I can get to another Focus Blast. Unfortunately, Registeel is not going to be able to win this matchup no matter what. But I did want their Stunfisk to be a little bit lower there. I could have possibly shielded that and then went for the Focus Blast and just burn both shields, but I would have lost that matchup anyways. So I'm over farming a lot here. I know that this is just a Rock Slide. Oh, I was totally wrong. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. Their Tropius still has stored energy. Oh my gosh. What the... Okay, not good. Really not good. And I knew that this was going to be the Tropius, Sableye, Stunfisk team, which always gives my team some problems. Can get hit by foul play here. Oh man, not good at all. Get a little bit of lag, and then they switch in their Tropius. I should have just gotten that Mew out of the picture, or I should have gotten the Sableye out of the picture. Yikes. I should have switched right here as well to avoid getting farmed down. Lots of mistakes being made here. And then I don't even click a charge move. Don't even click a charge move and just let the Mew go down. Absolutely terrible gameplay from me. Good game to my opponent. Mew into Dugong. Obviously the wild charges hit for super effective, but you can't just throw them right away because you're going to drop your defense. And now I'm going to get debuffed by these Icy Winds. I most likely am still just going to go straight for back-to-back wild charges. They let the first one go through, and then I'm actually going to bring into Registeel to just absorb this damage. Out comes Medicham, so I'm wondering if this is the Asian Milkman team, which means that there would be a Munchlax in the back, which Skarmory has a decent amount of play against. Even though my Registeel is debuffed, I'm most likely going to get a shield from this Medicham, which is so great, because typically the Medichams run Ice Punch and Psychic, as we can see here. And this Flash Cannon is probably going to be just barely enough to knock out this Medicham, so I get a shield, really good for me. I have loaded energy on my Mew, but I bring out my Skarmory here. Okay, I bring out my Skarmory. It's a Stunfisk in the back, and then we're getting some really great lag. I could not switch there. Very frustrating. They did give up switch advantage, so I'm going to be able to just surf this thing into Oblivion. And then Skarmory is going to be my win scenario. It's going to have to take out the Dugong and the Medicham. If they shield this, it's probably worth it for me to shield, yeah. But there was so much lag that occurred in this matchup. I'm totally off count. I'm able to get to this Surf. Really great for me. I'm going to get farmed down by the Dugong. But I can switch immediately, avoid being farmed down, Sky Attack this Dugong immediately, take it out, and then I'll be able to Air Slash down the Medicham. Yeah, these Ice Punches really aren't that threatening. Pretty close game, but we're able to clutch it out there. Because my opponent gave up switch advantage and switch locked their Stunfisk, it allowed my Mew to get on that. Very good game. These Tropius leads are so brutal. It's a Razor Leaf Tropius, so it is just chunking away. Great lag here. Gonna switch into Registeel, trying to catch something. And of course there's a Stunfisk in the back. This lineup of Tropius, Sableye, Stunfisk is very common. It could also be a Munchlax in place of the Sableye, so we will have to see. My opponent does not shield that first move. And then Earthquake does not take me out. So actually, I should always I should always take this to the 0 shield because Reggie can win switch. Oh, but look what they do. Look what my opponent does here. So smart. It is Munchlax, and so they farm me down. Very, very smart by my opponent. I need my Skarmory for the Tropius. They have a full health Munchlax. And then they sack swap into Tropius on a CMP tie somehow. Don't quite understand. I was getting very frustrated during this match, and then I somehow swapped during a CMP tie. I was getting pretty frustrated during this match because nothing was going right. So I have to farm this Tropius all the way down. But as you're gonna see, the lick damage from Munchlax is just too much. Even though I have 2 shields up here, I can't outpace the Munchlax to these charge moves, and the lick damage really adds up. Straight Sky Attack is for sure the play here, but my Mew is out of energy. I have 2 Sky Attacks, so I'm going to burn both shields here, but the Munchlax has so much energy. Could have possibly swapped into Mew, but this is really bad because the lick damage is going to do so much damage to Mew, and I'm not going to be able to get to another Sky Attack here, so I need to switch out, which I do. But I'm barely not going to be able to get to a Surf. This was a very tough fought match here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate the content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.